that study. I've been accepted into the master's program at Wageningen. I was like, where? He says it's only the world's premier university in food science, in agriculture, and land and environment. Where? Wageningen. It's about 90 kilometers outside of Amsterdam. I said, oh, in Holland. I quickly Googled, and there it was, the #1 university in the world. I was like, did you got accepted for the month? Off he went. And then, you know, and it was great. And then one day, I get this picture of Malik, arm in arm with a whole bunch of students. He'd started the Extinction Rebellion chapter there. And they were marching. And the cops were there. And then Malik gets arrested. And my heart just sank. I thought, okay, that's it. All the investment, sending him there, all of it's gone. He's going to be deported, no masters, nothing. That's if he's not in jail. And then he told me how polite the police were. Sat him down, gave him a coffee. Oh, don't do this. I thought, okay. And so, but then I thought, okay, that's just Malik being this young student. Then he comes home, and there's a fledgling Extinction Rebellion group here. I'm more interested in getting a job, and he does get a job, and it was during COVID, and he works for the African Climate Foundation, and I'm like, okay, that's proper, do it. And then he starts Extinction Rebellion here, and the next thing, they're door-stopping the AGM in Standard Bank, and this is making news, and he's hanging with activists like Kubi Naidu and so on. I was like not sure what was really going on with this young man. And he persisted. I mean, the weekly protests outside Standard Bank, he would go and do it until he got arrested here. That was less pleasant. I spent a whole day at Rosebank police station, hoping he wouldn't, this was on a Friday, hoping he wouldn't have to be kept in over the weekend. Fortunately, he wasn't. But the thing about that, and an episode in all of that that sticks out for me, was I was at home, and you know, just flipping through the channels on TV, going through news channels, and I crossed Bloomberg News, and they were breaking news. Sasol AGM disrupted by climate activists. And I just carried on. Bloomberg, okay. Then I called my wife and said, where's Malik? And he comes in grinning sheepishly. And yes, it was him and his friends and his colleagues and his comrades who disrupted the Sasol AGM, and that was a huge fallout. So I understood my son taking something from my life, and I'm sure my wife's life, and enlivening it. And that's Malik, the activist son that I've got. He's often frustrated me. This is obvious, you gotta do this. Never gets done. And you know, but he has a mind of his own. He has a very clear sense of how the world, this little blue dot we're on, has to be protected. And he's global in his thinking, but he's also very much an African child. And he has, I think, come of age through his work in African countries and here. And I think his international experience, whatever it was in Holland and wherever, has just buttressed that. So I think from that point of view, I'm not surprised. I would have been a year ago, but I'm not surprised that he's stepping into this. And you know, when he asked me to speak tonight, you know, I was like in two minds. I come from a slightly different political culture, different organization. I said, okay, so I'm going to be now trying to promote you as a RISE candidate. Okay, but okay, you're my son, so I'm just not into this. You know, we're a house divided as far as that's concerned, but you know, and I'm just glad I'm not in this ward, so I don't have to vote. but I'm going to just say two things, and then I'll stop. The one is, and it's a slight departure from your view on leaders and leadership. I have in all my years, 40 years as an activist in healthcare, I've come to learn a few very important things. And one happened when the ANC leaders on Robben Island were released after the Defiance campaign of 1989, in which we were very involved, and Walter Sisulu, and the others. And we were all excited, and I knew Ma Sisulu, and she was a nurse, and we were in the health sector together. And I went to the house, but I couldn't see him. And then went to Regina Mundi Church, where there was going to be the reception. And I walked back to the rafters, but quiet as a church should be, you know, just murmurs in the background, all very peaceful. Then the door opened, it was in the evening like this, and these 8 elderly men shuffled in, single file, and we had never seen them before. And then they stepped into the light, and there was Walter Sisulu, Ahmad Kathrada, Andrew Mlangeni, Elias Mswaleni, Ray Clark. It was a veritable gallery of liberation heroes. And the little murmur and everything just went dead. You could hear a pin drop. And here's Walter with his big glass on his beautiful face, blinking at all. And then this shout from the back, our heroes, and pandemonium. And after 2 or 3 minutes, Uncle Walter managed to calm everyone down and they took their seats. And he thanked everyone for the warm welcome. He said, but let me just say this. You know, we're not heroes. We've been in prison. They took our freedom away, but we were safe. We ate. No harm came to us. You were in the streets. You faced apartheid's guns. And they shot you and they killed you. And those who survived stood up. And you still faced them. And you still marched. You are our heroes. And in that moment, I understood leadership. And it was a kind of lesson that has been abiding. And you did mention level 5 leadership. It was a Harvard study on leadership that produced this 5 levels. And how they describe it there is a level 5 leader has all the normal attributes of a leader that you would know. But then these are the 2 vital ingredients. Fierce resolve and great humility. And I was growing up among leaders like that, a transcendent leadership who brought us across that liberation divide. And so for me, when I look at leaders, I also know you are never a leader because you have been made a leader. You don't cultivate leaders, ever. No leader ever decides that they're a leader. It's an appellation that's conferred on you by the people. And the people are better than you, they're smarter than you, and they will grant you the right to be their representative for as long as they're comfortable with giving you that right. You can then be told you're a leader, but you'll never know it. And this is what I've learned from people like that, you know? And you do what you have to do. I think Malik's got that. And, you know, that's on leadership and activism. The last thing I'll say is about youth. RISE is an exciting organization. You're lucky we didn't contest. But you know, and you are a youthful cohort, and that is great. And you do want to present a forward-looking, new next generation kind of you know, politics, which is great. And I think you have done well, because there is a culture today around youth that is built on entitlement and grievance, as though the youth is a sector, as a particular sector that needs special attention. I'll leave you with this. In 1983, the UDF was formed. I was 21 years old. The leaders of the UDF, all of these people were in their late 20s and early 30s. They shook the apartheid edifice and they broke it, allowing our exiles to just walk back. They did it in the streets. So They organized, and if I have to leave you guys with one, and I think you've already got it, you've shown capacity for it. You are only useful if you're able to organize, so keep on organizing. No one's got a special place for you at the table, just because you're young and you're beautiful. No, forget it. You must organize and you find your place at the table. So don't expect any favors. In this, good luck, my boy. I hope you make it. But even if you don't, and I don't want you to stop. You have to continue. And you won't be young forever. And when you're my age, hopefully you'll have even more wisdom than the little bit I've got. But that's because you wouldn't have stopped. So